Good afternoon. I'm Lois Frankel, member of Congress for this area. I have some concerned citizens. We have some representatives from CELO, which is a victims advocate group here in the county. I know there's been a lot of interest in this Epstein case. You probably already are familiar with the facts, but I'm just going to go through some of them, and then I'm going to tell you what my role is going to be here. As a result of current Miami Herald report and past Palm Beach Post reports, as well as some recent litigation which was just settled this morning, it's come to the attention of the public of what I call a very shocking sexual exploitation of young vulnerable women here in Palm Beach County. Investigation held in the early 2000s by the Palm Beach Police of a Jeffrey Epstein, who lived over in Palm Beach and allegedly had dozens and dozens of young vulnerable women, taken to his house where they were sexually exploited. I think what has been equally shocking is what I call an extreme minimal punishment for this man without really any public explanation as to why this happened. A deal was struck. I'm going to read what it was. A deal was struck by the Southern Florida U.S. Attorney Alexandria Acosta, who is now our Secretary of Labor. And basically, this was an extraordinary plea agreement that actually shielded the full extent of the crimes that were committed. Mr. Epstein ended up serving 13 months here in Palm Beach County on some type of work release program after he had been facing what was apparently a 53 page federal indictment that could have put him into prison for life. We do not know, although it's been reported that maybe he was giving information to the federal government. We do not know if that is true, and we do really not know the reason for what I called was, I thought, an extreme minimal punishment. There apparently were accomplices. They also have been shielded. There was a Crime Victims' Right Act, which would have entitled the victims for notification. That apparently was also violated. I know there are ongoing litigation. What I want to tell you that a number of members, the entire Democratic delegation, the Florida delegation, as well as a number of other members of Congress, has written a letter, which I want to. This is what I'm going to. If I can find it, I'm going to tell you what it says.
Can you speak up, Congresswoman?
Yes. Sure. You want to get a little closer? Okay. We wrote a letter that was sent out yesterday to the Inspector General of the United States Justice Department. Dear Inspector General Horowitz, we want to write to express great concerns of reports that during his tenure as United States Attorney for the Southern District of Florida, the current Secretary of Labor, Alex Acosta, gave a non-prosecution deal to a wealthy and well-connected serial sex offender, hid it from victims, and granted immunity to any potential co-conspirators who were involved in the crimes. According to recently obtained documents, the individual to whom the Secretary Acosta provided the non-prosecution deal was Jeffrey Epstein, who was facing a 53-page indictment that could have resulted in life imprisonment for trafficking minor girls for sex parties. Rather than pursue the indictment fully to ensure the individual could never prey again on minor girls, Secretary Acosta entered into an extremely preferential deal that resulted in the perpetrator of horrific crimes against children serving just 13 months in the county jail. The non-prosecution deal also had the effect of shutting down a Federal Bureau of Investigation examination of whether there were more victims, and astonishingly granted immunity to co-conspirators. As members of Congress intent on ensuring the equal application of justice and gravely concerned with the plague of sex trafficking and sexual abuse. We urge you to conduct an investigation into the circumstances surrounding the non-prosecution agreement Mr. Acosta entered into with Mr. Epstein. It also appears that numerous related case files and court documents are heavily redacted, and court documents well beyond the reasonable protections accorded to victims and confidential informants. This lack of public transparency further necessitates an internal review. In conduct of such an investigation, we urge you to review whether any Department of Justice policies, procedures, or practices were violated, and what, if any, violations were committed by the then U.S. Attorney and current Secretary of Labor, Acosta. And I want to add this: if the Justice Department does not move forward with an investigation, that I, along with many of my colleagues, will take this to the appropriate oversight committees, be it the Judiciary Committee, the Oversight Committee, the Foreign Affairs Committee, or any committee that deals with the trafficking of minors and the judicial system. And I'll just take questions.
We have your letter here, but are you calling for Acosta to resign?
No, I'm not today. We're calling for an investigation.
What are you hoping the outcome of that investigation? Should he be removed as labor secretary?
So, yeah, we're hoping for transparency. I mean, it is such a shocking plea agreement. I guess the question that arises, why did that happen? That has not been, I don't believe that has been brought forth to the public in a satisfactory manner. Maybe there is a reason that we do not know, but we feel like the public wants to know, especially since, especially I would say here in Palm Beach County, where we put a sex offender back on the street.
Does the term drain the swamp relate to this situation?
I think time will tell, and we think there should be an investigation that will let us know.
So you've written the Inspector General at which agency?
This is at the Justice Department.
And so you want some answers?
Yes.
And potentially the congressional committees?
Yes.
The House committees?
Well, we're going to see what the response is. If we feel that there is a good faith investigation, we'll see where it goes. If not, I will make a request to our oversight committees to pursue this matter.
Let me ask you this way. If it was someone other than Epstein in the same situation, facing the same charges, would the result have been the same?
Well, that's the question we want to get to. I think what the unknown is, did Epstein provide some kind of information? I mean, was he given this very favorable deal because of his stature, his wealth, his contacts, or is there something more to it? And I think that's what we want to get to the bottom of. Anything else? Otherwise, thank you very much.